Hey everyone, and welcome to this review in the UkeGuide series of the Outdoor Ukulele Tenor. Now, this is an earlier mold of the Outdoor Ukulele Tenor. Since this one was created, they've actually changed shops and they've changed colors a little bit, just a touch. You can get a blue one of these, a gray one of these, a brown one of these, or even a little more clear. This one was called Moonshine when it was originally available. Now, the new manufacturer or the new molder, it's the same exact mold, same basic materials. It just has changed to different molder. It doesn't really make a difference. I believe there are two parts, and it's just the bottom, and then the top part is glued on. And then, of course, they put on tuners. Now, if you buy one of these, you'll get Outdoor Ukulele's own tuners. These are Grover's on here. And I think they ship with the Dario strings these days, and you do have the option of putting on the strap buttons. This one I sent back to Outdoor Ukulele to have them put them on, but you can get them right from the factory. You can also get a pickup or two pickups installed underneath the soundboard if that's what you would like. Now, I've already reviewed the Outdoor Ukulele Soprano, and a lot of what I'm going to say is going to be exactly the same for this instrument. It's just larger. And quite honestly, I'll just give you a spoiler alert. The only two negative things about this instrument aren't really about this instrument. The first one is that I wish they offered a concert size, because concert seems to be my size. It's most comfortable for me. And then second, the price bump is a little bit more significant going to the tenor, and I'm not sure that it requires that much more glue or labor or material to reflect that much of a price increase. Although, if you look across the board with ukuleles, how much they go from soprano to tenor, maybe it's right in line, but I kind of wish that they offered the consumer just a little more of a price break for the tenor model, which anyway, I'll just leave it at that. So I've already mentioned the cost here goes from $155 to the carbon fiber model that has the polycarbonate with carbon fiber mixed in. They say it makes it a little more brighter, it makes it even a little more durable for about $205. And again, I have no problem with the price increase for the carbon fiber injection with the polycarbonate, whatever. It's just when you're going from the normal polycarbonate to the polycarbonate that I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. So anyway, still pretty inexpensive as ukuleles go, considering that some sell for upwards of $10,000. In average, a Hawaiian koa ukulele made of koa probably is no more than usually $1,200 or $1,300 for a tenor instrument these days. Yeah, they can go up from there, but just put in the price range, it's about 1/10 of a Hawaiian instrument. A little more, but that's all right. In terms of value, you are definitely getting your money's worth on this. It's a better value than the price you're paying for its ruggedness and that whole deal. The whole appeal of outdoor ukuleles, there are two really. One is the rugged construction of it. These things are made to go to minus 40 or minus 50 and up to 210 degrees, so you can actually leave them in your car and they won't melt. Your strings, though, will act like rubber bands afterwards, and they'll have to be retuned. I recently went on a rather long trip with my family to Tennessee, to the Smoky Mountains, and I brought this ukulele along with me, and every day when I played it, after it was in the car and the heat and everything, I had to just retune it. But the ukulele itself is super. We bought these for my new school when we built the new school last year. I'm no longer at that school, but it's a great school for education just because of that ruggedness. Very hard to break, and they just aren't susceptible to weather conditions at all, which is great. And then the second aspect that's so fantastic about these is that the injection mold is spot on the way that they do it. There are some plastic ukuleles where the action varies from instrument to instrument, and sometimes the action is way too high and there's nothing you can do about it. These things are set with, and again, kind of spoiler alert, action at 2.0 millimeters at the 12th fret and 0.5 millimeters at the 1st fret. it's about as good of a stock playing experience as you will find anywhere. Now, there are a couple manufacturers that are sending them out with very similar setups, but that's amazing. And then the other thing that's so great is that squarish profile, if you can see that in the image, which makes it very comfortable to play, very comfortable to play bar chords when you're working on it. So that's really the selling point. So those two things, its ruggedness and the comfort of playing, make it really quite a value. And in fact, I know some ukulele players that have stopped playing their wood instruments, have even sold their wood instruments, and they've moved solely to this. I'm not going to do that, but this is a regular player, as is the soprano outdoor ukulele that I own too. The build quality is flawless. I have seen a situation from time to time where someone will say that the top has come unglued. It's pretty rare to see those comments in the forums. I've seen it only once or twice, but if that happens, give Outdoor Ukulele a call. Their customer service for me has been great. As a side note, remember, if you are a school, if you order 15 or more of these instruments, they give a very significant discount over the price that you would normally pay. The appearance is very plain, although you can do things like throw lights in it, which kind of makes it fun. I'm looking forward to that in my new elementary job this year, to bringing this in the holiday season and putting LED lights in it as I play. That'll be kind of fun. Availability, they're available. Maybe not in your color. Maybe sometimes you have to wait for the color. They did run a special run of these that were purple, and those became very popular and sold out very quickly, and they have not remade that run. So if you like the idea of a color, I think they call it amethyst, but if you like that purple color, you have to watch the used ukulele forums to see if you can get it. Playability, this thing just makes playing easy. They're not incredibly heavier than other ukuleles, which is kind of surprising. In your brain it feels heavier, but it's really not too much. It is a little heavier, but not as much as your brain tells you that it is, because you're thinking you're holding a chunk of plastic. The sound quality is overall pretty good. Playing one-on-one, it's fine. When I've played with my choirs or my groups of students that I'm teaching, it's fine. But when you're playing in a group, it can get lost. I've played this at music festivals and ukulele festivals, and I can hardly hear myself playing. The other thing that it does have is kind of a percussive sound. For some reason, that works out really well. But as a teacher, the softness and the rhythmic nature of it actually both are a benefit. It makes a room full of ukuleles even that less distracting, and the rhythm actually can help you keep tempo. And it's weird. It really sticks out. And if you're playing something like House of Gold by 21 Pilots, an outdoor ukulele is great to use, because you really get that percussive nature on it. It's not really dark, it's not really bright, it's just kind of right in the middle. And it does it does not sound like a wood instrument. It sounds like its own instrument. It doesn't sound like a Waterman. It doesn't sound like a Magic Fluke. It doesn't sound like anything else. It kind of has its own voice. So going over the specs of this thing, it's a tenor. It's 17 inches from nut to saddle, and the saddle is molded plastic, as is the nut. You can't adjust it. I suppose you could try to file down the nut if you need to, but there's no reason to. It comes that well set up. There are 19 frets. Okay, basically 14 to the body, right in between 14 and 15. There are no side marker dots. That's a negative. Again, just like the soprano review, I wish that Outdoor Ukulele would have put soprano dots, maybe even on both sides. That would have been nice as part of the mold, but it's just not. Maybe that would have been too hard to get molded on the side. I don't know, but that's just where it's at. As you can see, it's a normal devil bout shape. It's a whole polycarbonate ukulele all the way through. The bridge is kind of neat because it is a slotted bridge. It's hard to get with this light. There we go. It's a slotted bridge. So just like the soprano, it's really a neat design, because you just have to tie a knot or double knot in your strings and then just pull them right in. It's really easy to do string changes on these, and you never have to really worry about that bridge breaking or cracking, which I've actually seen with some wood ukuleles. So that does happen. Very easy way for just a slotted bridge, but in a little different style. It's kind of cool that they've got that. The saddle is not compensated. The finish is just plastic. It's not even glossy. It's kind of a flat, and that's true of all of the designs. It's just over 26 inches from head to tail and weighs 1 pound 9.9 ounces, which is heavier than a lot of wood ukuleles, but it's not as heavy again as you think it is. It's kind of funny. Open geared tuners, you would get, if you buy one of these new, you would get ones with Outdoor Ukulele branded. They actually say Outdoor Ukulele. These say Grover. I don't think I can get close enough to the camera to let you see that they say Grover, but originally and for a few years, Outdoor Ukulele just sold them with Grovers, which are great. They're great. They work. So do the Outdoor Ukulele ones. So no worries. I've already mentioned that the action is 0.5 millimeters at what is this sort of nut. It's not really a first fret, so it is sort of a nut that's just molded in there. And 2.0 millimeters at the 12th fret. Really playable. That very wide square neck is really a joy to play. The nut width is really hard to measure. It comes in as 37 because it's molded in there. But realistically, it has, at the first fret, a space of 8.84 millimeters between each string for a total of 29.41, which is nice and spacious. It's more than your average Chinese import. Nothing wrong with Chinese imports, but they tend to be a little more narrow. And the depth, if you take the depth at the 3rd fret above the strings to the bottom of the neck, it's only 22.47 millimeters. And again, in a very square profile. So, long story short, I like this thing a lot. I really support these. I liked teaching with them. I liked giving my students that ability to play with that comfortable neck. It was nice to teach with these. I love traveling with these. It's an instrument that if I lost this one, I would buy another. Or if somebody stole this instrument, I would buy another without even thinking about it. The only negatives that I, again, can give you is that I wish I had a concert size, which has nothing to do with this. And then the price bump from soprano to tenor in the equivalent styles between this one, polycarbonate to polycarbonate, or polycarbonate with carbon fiber to polycarbonate with carbon fiber, is really quite a jump. So that's really the only true negative that I can think of with this instrument, unless you don't want a plastic one, but then why would you buy this one in the first place? Now, finally, I give a rating to all these instruments, and the last time I rated one of these, I gave it 4.5 ukuleles. I'm not going to do that, and I'll tell you why. I'm giving it 4 ukuleles, which is still very, very good, but I think that price kicker, which can be $40 to $50, is too much. So with that, I'm only going to rate this one a 4.0 because of its original price. Now, if you can find one used, this is a 4.5 instrument, and the only thing that would hold it back is that its sound isn't super, super duper. It's not a bad sound by any means. It's just not that wood ukulele sound that's in your brain. And again, it's not supposed to be. It's a polycarbonate ukulele that can go anywhere in any condition, and the only things you have to worry about are your metal tuners and maybe floppy strings and tuning them. So I don't think four ukuleles is a bad score for this, and I think it's okay to reflect that the price for the tenor jump is a little high, but that's okay. I love this instrument though, so I would definitely recommend it to you. Highly, highly recommended. And I've reviewed this thing before, but I'm just doing it in the context of the UkeGuide. And finally, I do put these UkeGuides on my website. You can find them at ukeguide.info, or you can come to my blog at ukestuff.info. Either way, you can find these UkeGuides, and you can find my summary sheet, and that's where these ideas of the UkeGuide came from, was like those energy saving sheets that you find when you buy a new appliance for your home. That's what the UkeGuide is kind of meant to do, is to give you that sort of yellow guide to an instrument if you're interested in buying one. So you can download that there. It's free of charge, and it goes along with this series. So thanks for watching. I'll be reviewing more ukuleles in the future, and we'll catch you next time.